Alright, brothers and sisters, I hope you're not afraid with this recent crash. I hope you are ready for millions and decazillions this cycle, because the market is looking very strong. I know we just seen a major dip recently. Woo! Market crashed. Dreams lost. We're not gonna make it. And as I always say, dips will always happen. But why am I saying the market is strong? Well, we just seen a new all-time high on Bitcoin, 124,500. And we've seen Ethereum almost hitting a new all-time high. And we've seen a retrace. The reason is the PPI basically reports this all kind of related to rate cuts as they continue. But the good news is the market still expect a 92% chance of or odds of rate cuts in September, right? But the market dipped because people are still in disbelief, which is a very, very good sign to see. We've seen the fear and greed index back to neutral, which tells me the spaghetti hands and the Jeets and everybody else thinks this is not a real rally, which means we're going higher. The market tops on extreme greed, where everybody starts to think we are sure going higher. So the market still is in disbelief phase. Not yet euphoria, not yet extreme greed. We're just still in disbelief, which is telling me we're going higher. This is a retrace, a healthy retrace. In fact, we've seen Bitcoin fill the CME gap, which is usually something that Bitcoin likes to do before continuing higher. And now this tells me this is the bottom for Bitcoin right here, pretty much the bottom for Ethereum as well right here, and pretty much the bottom for every other altcoin in that, for that matter. And for me, I remain bullish. I remain confident that this market is continuing higher, and it's just showing me that it's even stronger, because we got some bearish news, but the market did not care. Bitcoin is still at 117, and as I said, with the CME gap, we're looking at a bottom, potential bottom here for another try to another rally for Bitcoin, and as well potentially seeing Ethereum take out its previous all-time high and probably a new all-time high next week. So let's get into today's video with no further ado. As usual, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This show is for entertainment, some education, and hopefully finding God. Now, the market continues to do exactly what it continues to do, which is going up, and I must make these videos to remind everyone that we're still going higher. And not financial advice, obviously, but this is what I believe, and are continuing to see the markets looking very, very strong. In fact, we got one of the biggest ETFs ever recorded, 1 billion with a B, followed by 500, 700 million, 600 million, and we've seen a little sell-off of 59 million due to the PPI, obviously. But this we've seen as well happen last week with 1 day of sell of 400 million, but after it, right after it, we started seeing major increases and 1 billion. So what this tells me is there is way stronger buy pressure for Ethereum right now, which means altcoins going crazy. We even in fact seen something pretty funny, which is a Nasdaq listed firm slums 50%, so their price dipped. Why is that? Because they bought BONK, strategic reserve for memecoins, a memecoin treasury strategy. What this tells me is that all these washed out stocks that are listed on the Nasdaq, since they've seen what Michael Saylor did with Bitcoin and other now with Ethereum, we're seeing Ethereum as well, strategic ETH reserves. We've seen other like Sharplink, gaming, and all starting to accumulate Ethereum. For them, it's doing very well. Now other lower cap or lower companies on the Nasdaq are trying to find their strategy. Some of them are doing meme coin strategies, so that's something we see now. Now this is truly becoming an institutional bull cycle, which means it is independent of the retail interest right now. That's why we're seeing rallies happen while while retailers in fact are freaking out, selling. Crypto fear and greed index in fact telling us retail is still not yet here. Now keep in mind, when institutions are buying, they are planning to sell, but to who? They are trying to sell to retailers. Why are they buying? In my opinion, is because they're expecting this money to become cheaper. They're expecting rate to be low, and retail is always late to the party, so they're expecting this they are expecting to sell to retail. For now, it's mainly institutions buying. They are buying up this stuff. It's not retail. We're seeing this happen. Now, we could see a Dogecoin ETF. We could see a lot of other interesting ETFs. We could see as well other treasuries. And we've seen now a BONK treasury. We could see a Pepe treasury. Maybe someday we see a Darky treasury or a Breton E treasury. God knows what we could see in the future. But we're seeing some crazy stuff happen today. And this is the true rotation that is happening now. We're starting to see it. We see now the ETFs with Bitcoin, treasuries with Bitcoin. We see now ETFs with Ethereum. Now we're going to start to see ETF with other like Solana, XRP, BNB. We already seen treasuries with BNB. We're going to start to see these lower cap stocks going for lower cap things like the lower cap meme coins or lower cap altcoins, treasuries. This is what we see usually retailers do. The retailers in the previous cycles, they go from Bitcoin to Ethereum to top 10 to top 20, top 1000. But now we're seeing institutions doing that. This is pretty big in my opinion. Like the money flow is going to be much bigger than when retail comes in, and I do believe retail will come. So this cycle is pretty different, and actually pretty different from 2021. We're seeing a total different landscape today because whenever there are dips, retail freaks out, and whenever there are pumps, retail is silent. We're not seeing excitement like before. Like a new all-time high on Bitcoin doesn't hit as much as it did in 2021. I remember when I seen new all-time highs in 2021, I was thanking God every day. I was feeling very blessed to see an all-time high on Bitcoin. Today, nobody cares what Bitcoin is doing, and nobody cares about Ethereum. And it's because nobody's allocated enough. People missed out because along the way, and you all remember, everybody was sidelined, and I believe that to be true. Till today, people have been sidelined since the bottom on Bitcoin because they kept calling for it to fall off each time it goes up. And we're seeing the same thing happen now with Ethereum. Each time it goes down, people start to call for it to fall off. Now we're seeing people even thinking that we're going to see a dip in September. Now, even if there is a dip in September, I don't think ETH is going below 4,000 again this cycle until it tops. And I do believe we're entering a very strong phase on Ethereum here, where we're just going to start to see this strong uptrend where you see this sort of accumulation happen. Like you get pumps sideways, pumps sideways, pumps sideways, pumps, and we've seen the same thing happen on Bitcoin. Just as a refresher to remember or to understand what's likely to see here, what you are likely to see with Ethereum as well. You see this pumps sideways, pump sideways, pump sideways, pump sideways, some dips, then up again. So this cycle has been playing along this way. We have actual data from this cycle, not previous cycles. This cycle with ETFs on Bitcoin. So we could pretty much see what Ethereum can do here. A lot of people are going to keep calling tops and calling for it to end. And for me, I'm just sticking to what I've seen happen this far, which is ETFs are playing in a different game right now. And ETFs will make the charts look pretty different from previous cycles. Previous cycles were driven by hype and FOMO and euphoria, where you see this massive spikes up, massive spikes down. With ETFs, it's less volatile, but more sustainable and more to the upside. And it all comes down to these rate cuts that are expected pretty much to happen on September onwards, to start seeing them lower and go lower and lower, and start to see better economy and start to see more flows into these altcoins and cryptos. So for now, the strategy remains the same for me, is to buy and hold and wait for the real massive old season, which we have not seen yet this far. If we come back to this crypto fear and greed, each time we hit extreme greed, usually this marked the top previously because we have not had a real strong season. But so far, I'm very happy to not see this being hit yet, which is very bullish to not see an extreme greed while Bitcoin just put in a new all-time high, believe it or not. And Ethereum just put in a major high, closing very close, less than $100 away from its previous all-time high. And you have no greed in the market. Go figure. That's very bullish to me. This means it's a healthy rally. It's a very strong rally. It's confirming every day to me that this is a healthy rally. Altcoins in general here are slowly gaining, but not really, and it's just a normal thing to see because rotation has not happened yet. They will all pretty much start to pick up like Ethereum did out of the blue and start to outtake this market. We're pretty much starting to see these bold moves happen with this Nasdaq, low cap stocks buying BONK meme coin treasury, and wouldn't surprise me to see more doing that. Now, since they've seen a drop of 50%, this shows that a lot of these low caps stocks are looking to do something similar. Maybe one of them will pick the right coin or not actually dump and could spark a major rally. Or I do believe once Ethereum actually sends much higher and starts to really trend higher, the sentiment will shift and bullishness and FOMO from institutions toward altcoins will get even bigger, because we're seeing from the ETFs today, much bigger ETFs are coming into Ethereum than the ones that are coming towards Bitcoin. Bitcoin is getting a fraction of what Ethereum is getting. For example, Bitcoin is getting barely 200 million these days, or 80 million, 65 million, while Ethereum is getting billions. So this really shows a big shift from Bitcoin towards Ethereum, and I do think once Ethereum really spikes up from here, maybe a 2 to 3x from here, institutions will have made a lot of gains like they did with Bitcoin from around 50k where the ETF started to today, which is more than a 2x for them. So once that Ethereum as well 2x's for them, the appetite for other altcoins will get even bigger. So there could be some real major rotation by institutions towards altcoins, and I do believe retail will get left, will have nothing left to do but buy low cap coins now, and because everything will just be priced out. And it's not just me talking, actually retail is not buying. We have no interest by retailers. Crypto feeding greed is at neutral. No retailers, pretty much very little retailers in the market. Most of the pumps are happening because of the ETFs and the treasuries. We have big treasuries now. The ETH treasuries themselves hold close to 3% of the ETH supply, so that's pretty huge. A big demand is going into these Ethereum and other treasuries. Bitcoin, I'm pretty sure there is a treasury for BNB. I heard that as well, and other coins probably will start to see treasuries as well. So I won't be surprised to see some real ridiculous treasuries, and that means big money inflows, and retailers will not have a lot left for them to buy other than lower caps, and pretty much lower cap memes. I do believe meme coins are the biggest gainers, and they continue to provide the biggest gains because you cannot really, they don't have a ceiling like Shiba Inu made it to 54 billion. So pretty much any meme coin can do that. While if you go to any other narrative like AI, for example, AI coins have not seen any big pumps. We have not seen, like the larger one is Tau, and it is standing at 3.5 billion, and it is very hard for them to really have a high ceiling because speculation around them is not too high, because we have not seen any AI coin, for example, or gaming coin go beyond what a meme coin can do. So meme coins continue to have these high ceilings, high expectations, which drive retail FOMO as well, if even now institutional FOMO even. So I continue to believe that we're going towards exactly seeing what I'm expecting to see, which is big rotation from Bitcoin to Ethereum to large caps, and then meme coins, and then low cap memes will have a major season at the end of it. We're probably much gonna start to see a lot of these type of stuff happen, like Nasdaq firms buying meme coins, BONK, Pepe, and the large ones, and then retailers will have the smaller, lower cap ones to buy. So to end this video, don't get shaken by this dip. Personally, I don't think this is a major dip to worry about. The market does not even care about it, but I'm pretty sure people will have questions here. Why the market dipped? What's happening? What's going on here? Why is the market dipping? So just so you know now, Bitcoin had to fill this gap, and the news of the PPI was just perfect timing for it to happen, for the market makers to just push it back down to fill this gap and get done with it. And then pretty much probably next week we see a bullish week again, and things looks much better and much different than today. And another dip missed by most of the people because again the market shakes people out. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. Till the end, I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.